Scientists are resorting to once unthinkable solutions to cool the planet. Now, over the years, I've been talking about climate crisis for God knows how long, 12, 15 years. I've done segments on how insane geoengineering is. Now, obviously, climate change in itself is geoengineering, although it's unintentional geoengineering as opposed to intentional. The truth is, we need to change our systems so that they are not destroying our world, so that we can create a sustainable world, not just because of climate change, but because of a million ways we're destroying the environment, deforestation, filling the oceans with plastic, everything else. So there's a lot of reasons that we need to absolutely get beyond capitalism to something that is not a market economy where you put a price tag on everything and you just buy up and destroy and eat and shit out the entire world. Many scientists believe that we are now, and I'm not touting it, I'm kind of agnostic on it, but are saying we're getting to a point where the world will truly and epically be unlivable. We are getting to a point of true extinction level event very fast. And so there is a beginning analysis of, and there's been studies that have gone on for a few years now, but beginning analysis of, are there ways to alter climate change? But of course, the problem is, much like with nuclear bombs, well, I mean, one of the biggest problems, much like with nuclear bombs, is we build these things and we say, oh, they solve one problem and we're not going to think about the problems that they create. Or with nuclear energy, at least the way nuclear energy was used before. We go, oh, well, we've solved one problem, but we're not going to think about what the fallout, literally, will be if this goes wrong. Dumping chemicals in the ocean, spraying salt water into the clouds, injecting reflective particles into the sky. Scientists are resorting to once unthinkable techniques to cool the planet because global efforts to check greenhouse gas emissions are failing. From a report, these geoengineering approaches were once considered taboo by scientists and regulators who feared that tinkering with the environment could have unintended consequences. But now researchers are receiving taxpayer funds and private investments to get out of the lab and test these methods outdoors. The shift reflects growing concern that efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions aren't moving fast enough to prevent the destructive effects of heat waves, storms, and floods made worse by climate change. Geoengineering isn't a substitute for reducing emissions, key point, according to scientists and business leaders involved in the projects. Rather, it is a way to slow climate warming in the next few years while buying time to switch to a carbon-free economy in the longer term. 3 field experiments are underway in the U.S. and overseas. This month, researchers aboard a ship off the northeastern coast of Australia near the Whitsunday Islands are spraying a briny mixture through high-pressure hoses into the air in an attempt to brighten low-altitude clouds that form over the ocean. Scientists hope bigger, brighter clouds will reflect sunlight away from the Earth, shade the ocean surface, and cool the waters around the Great Barrier Reef, where warming ocean temperatures have caused massive coral die-offs. The research project, known as Marine Cloud Brightening, is led by Southern Cross University. It's part of a $64 million or 100 million Australian dollars reef restoration and adaptation program. Here's another point, and I'm not one of these people who says, yeah, let's just do it. Let's not consider the ramifications. Let's just go hardcore. No, I think you need to carefully consider the ramifications. But talking of coral die-off, we are getting closer and closer to a point where much of these ocean species, ocean coral, will just be gone and have major impacts on the entire food chain. Another example is billions upon billions of crabs went missing off of Alaska, where they do a lot of the crabbing. They just, because they have sonar and they can figure out where the biggest bulk of these crab populations is. They didn't know where they'd gone. And then they found out, oh, they all died. It's not like we're sitting here going, well, climate change is going to impact us one day. And I don't know if we really want to fuck around with this stuff right now. No, we're already in it. We're in it, and there's very little time. And just another note about toxic nationalism and everything. This should be a concerted effort. And I mean all climate scientists. I mean science. I'm not just talking about some of these loony geoengineering. I'm talking about just all climate science should be a joint effort. And some nations do work together, but should be a massive joint effort of all humankind to save all of us. Like, there should be no, oh, he's a Chinese scientist? Well, then let's lock him in the bathroom and never work with him again. There should be none of that. It should be all the best minds in every related field to climate science should be working all the time and should be funded at the highest level. You know the way we fund our military? $1 trillion a year, more than 170 countries combined. That's how we should fund climate science. That's how we should fund making this earth livable. This has to be done in coordination with destroying, ripping, shredding capitalism, because otherwise, even if you were to find this silver bullet, which you won't find a silver bullet, but even if you were to find this silver bullet, oh my God, we discovered you brighten the clouds and it fixes everything and all is going well. We will continue to destroy this planet in 47 other ways if we don't get rid of the market economics that eat up, extract, swallow everything, and then shit it all out. That is the only way we will have a future on this tiny blue spaceship